Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
Corey.
Hello.
And Jonah.
Hey, guys.
All right, we're going to jump right into our main topic, which is the Game Awards 2021.
Yeah, so today or this week we got really cool and interesting Game Awards this week. It was done by, what's his name?
Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always the guy. He's like the go-to guy.
How to pronounce his last name.
Kingsley? No, it's not Kingsley. But they went over basically, so it's Video Game Awards. So it's like, it was interesting because I don't necessarily think getting awards for like best game or best adventure game is that interesting, but they actually did a lot of really cool like reveals and stuff like that. And so I kind of wanted to go through a couple, and, you know, some of us were watching it live.
Yeah, I watched the first half of it.
So we were texting a little bit about it, but the first thing that I saw, and I think they kind of showed, was the Suicide Squad trailer for Kill the Justice League. Would you guys see that? What did you guys think about that?
I feel like we all had kind of the same thought about it.
Let's do a little flashback. Okay, we're going to go back in time a little bit.
Okay.
So, when they announced that Rocksteady was working on another, they didn't say what it was. We didn't know if it was another Batman movie. We were like, okay, Rocksteady did the Arkham games. Great games. I love those games. Mick loves those games. And so we were really excited to be like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
And a couple years ago, they were going to drop they kind of dropped that it was the Suicide Squad. So I was like, okay. But I was like, this Rocksteady is going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
And then they were going to do, at DC Fandom, they were going to drop the trailer. And we had got together and watched it together. Yep. And we were really disappointed in it.
Yeah.
And they were like, finally, we're going to see gameplay. And I'm really disappointed in it. I'm not excited for it, and I just feel like from being up here, Rocksteady's doing something, I'm all the way down here to be like, oh man, I don't like it.
Can you like imagine like what they could have done to make you be excited for this game, or is it just like you're already kind of biased against?
Yeah, I think the problem is that you don't want a Suicide Squad game.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
Yeah,
that's the last thing on your list. So
yes, part of it is the characters. I'm like, part of it is I think I got myself excited being like, they're making a Superman game. I'm going to, and so I got a little disappointed with that. The other thing I was telling Mick, when the gameplay, for some reason, the aesthetic of the Arkham games is so dark. I like the look of it. Everything they've shown from this is like really bright.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to even figure out how the gameplay works because these characters like they're jetpacks and it's weird for me. So maybe once I understand more how the gameplay works, I might get on board for it. It's just the way it looks and has been presented to me. Even the intro with Amanda Waller coming out, the actor kind of doing like a live action thing, to me felt like I don't want this, Yeah.
Okay.
So it's maybe it's just a preference thing, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of the Suicide Squad. It seems like I would have much rather had them do another Batman thing or
of course.
have them do a Superman or even the Wonder Woman thing that they announced that we'll talk about later. That to me gets me way more excited than the Suicide Squad game.
What do you think, Mick? Did you see it at all? Like the intro?
I saw I didn't see the intro part. What was...
It was just the voice actors.
It was just the voice actors came out dressed as Amanda Waller and was like, "Hey, this is top secret. I can't show you anything. I'm going to kill you," or something like that. It's like,
if you say anything, you're going to die or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's a little harsh. But yeah, for a game claiming to be in the same universe as the other Arkham games, it just feels totally different. I'm also curious just to when it exactly takes place because, spoiler alert, for Arkham Knight,
you're fine. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's about
Batman dies in the end, I think. So I'm just curious when it's going to be related to that. But yeah, the gameplay too, which we didn't really get it wasn't like true gameplay. It wasn't like a walkthrough of like a certain section of the game. It was more like montagey, kind of scripted.
It's like a scripted game.
Gameplay. But that we saw, it didn't look like fun gameplay to me. Okay. And all the characters looked like they had basically the same type of stuff, like you were saying, jetpacks and shooting, Like that's what it looked like to me.
I mean, they're less impressive than most superheroes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just what they do is less impressive. So, I think of this kind of like almost like a Lego game. You know what I mean? Like how you have different characters.
That's
you might have access to things because you have a jetpack now,
or you can grapple up to some place, or
something like that. Or now you have explosives, and so
it just makes me that more excited for the WB Montreal,
the Gotham
Knights game.
Yeah, so I think as if you're a Suicide Squad fan, you're probably excited about this game. I think you could be a little sad that it's not like dark and like kind of in that vein of Arkham series, but and I bet if you're a big fan, I think you're.
And I will say there are cool things. Like I'm interested to think the Brainiac aspect of it, like because that's something that hasn't been seen. So that to me is cool, and I think I trust Rocksteady with. I love the stories they told with the Arkham game, so I'm going to trust them that they have a good story with it. So that's where I can be like, okay, maybe I'm not liking what I'm seeing, but I'm going to have to give it a shot to see if maybe the story gets me in. The other thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way is the banter between the characters. You know, to me, it just seems so like, you know, they're all like, yeah, you suck. And you're, you know, like especially Boomerang. You know, and so and the Harley Quinn and the Harley Quinn attitude that you know, like you're all a bunch of you know,
they all sound the same. Just
to me, it's just kind of that to me is like, is it going to get old? You know, is that dynamic going to get old of them always bickering and stuff like that? And we'll see. But like I said, I want to trust that Rocksteady's. They've obviously invested a ton of time and money in this. And I'm going to kind of trust and hope that the story ends up being like, wow, that I wasn't expecting that and I loved it. That's what I'm hoping for. I haven't been impressed with what I've seen, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm rooting for the game, but I'm just not excited for it.
I mean, one thing that's been consistent with his Rocksteady's
the man, the myth
production of games is that their combat's always really good.
Yes,
that's one of the things where I'm like, oh, maybe it's better than we think, because we know how smooth and just dynamic it can be. So that gives me a little confidence in this game.
And that's one of the best parts of the Arkham series, like you said, is
it's so cool.
The combat and how it flows and how it never gets boring because there's so many things you can do, combos and stuff.
New things too.
Yes, and so that's a great point. If they're doing that with these different characters, I mean, it could change my mind.
Yeah. So okay, I mean, we're kind of excited, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I think I just need to see more. You know, closer to the release date, which is supposed to be sometime next year. So, the next thing that we saw was Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, and
we saw a sick trailer.
Yeah,
this game is set in the High Republic. All those drummers, dude. That was pretty dope.
That was like a Hans Zimmer score.
I was trying to figure out what it was. When the drummer guy, I was like, "This is God of War," and I was like, "Nah."
Me too. I was like, "What is this?" And then the Lucasfilm came up. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Star Wars?"
Dude, I was like Indiana Jones, and then I saw space, and I was like, "Okay, Star Wars."
Did I type this in our chat? Did I say I got goosebumps when it said Lucasfilms?
Yeah.
Did I? Okay, because I legit did. I was like, oh. And it just shows how much I want Star Wars stuff. Honestly, I'm just so desperate for it. What a sucker. But dude, the trailer was sick. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Looked awesome. I saw some people complaining, being like, "This doesn't look like Star Wars at all." I was like, it looks like Dune. I'm like, well, I mean, what are you talking about? You don't. It looks like Star Wars, and that's like,
dude, they have
it's in a galaxy.
Jedi Council
well, that's what I'm saying.
And everything, and
and I was like, it's in a galaxy that you don't. You're gonna have different.
Okay,
you're gonna have a ton of like millions of different planets. Like you don't have to. Like every planet's gonna be different. Looks awesome. Obviously, it's a long ways away.
Yeah.
3 years at least.
Yeah.
That's a little disappointing, but that trailer was just the music was awesome. The scene where you got the two Jedi kind of fighting on like a bridge, like just looked so sick.
That was dope.
And then there's a shot where there's like people coming at you, just see like the two lightsabers, and one guy's got like
my favorite part.
Like the fur, whether it's a coat or it's a Wookiee, whatever, but they like pull out their lightsabers. That was like, that is sick, and that's what I want.
Love shots like that.
It was just, the music was awesome. and it was intriguing. And it's the first game set in the High Republic time, so that's cool that they're going that way. They've had books that have come out that are set in that period. They've got a game coming out, and there's rumors of shows coming out. So I want more of that era. Yeah, which is sweet.
Yeah, I think it'll be a sweet game. I'm curious to see what the gameplay looks like because it's Quantic. So that is Detroit, Heavy Rain. So it's those. I don't want to say choose your own adventure, but it's like you're walking through. Do you think something happens, and then it's like
that? It's very thought out.
I
think it's like Mass Effect, kind of like
no, because
less that, but more.
I mean, it's like kind of like Telltale games, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So you're not really like I'm going to aim and shoot at this person. It's more of like reactions. Oh, this guy's attacking me. Let me make a split-second decision. And so
it's more story driven in their stories.
Yes. Yeah. So games. I'm curious to see like why would you get Quantic to make a Star Wars game if you're not going to follow the same formula?
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see what that looks like, especially because I think that takes away from what you guys are excited about, right? Yeah. You're excited about the guy turning on the lightsaber, and you're like, I'm gonna wail on this dude, and then instead it's gonna be like,
it doesn't mean
press X to turn on your lightsaber. He attacks you. Press 0. Tap this. Parry. 0.
Press X to kiss her or refuse
exactly.
her. Oh,
and then if you kiss her, you turn dark side.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what it looks like, or maybe they turn it into a hybrid.
I hope it's a hybrid.
But I really liked Detroit. Was an awesome game. I just beat that this last year. It was on my list for.
Was that is that the same way?
Did you become human? Did you become human?
I didn't, but I did. Spoiler alert! I got the robots, and we held an uprising, baby.
Nice.
It's interesting though because the studio has only made games for PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this will be, console wide.
So it'll be not to rain on your parade, guys. But I will say, like I said, Detroit was awesome. The story was awesome. Yeah. So I'm interested to see if they get like famous actors because Detroit had a bunch of pretty well-known actors to do the motion control.
Well, you officially rained on my parade. Well, I know you said not to rain on it, but you did.
But I'm going to tell you, if you can get past the fact that maybe it's not what you expect, I promise you the story will reward you. Well, see, and I haven't even seen. Well,
this is what I appreciate.
I promise.
This is what I appreciate you telling me. So it's not like another Suicide Squad situation where I'm like,
they're like gameplay reveal, and Jonah's like, why do they keep pressing? Why does X keep popping up?
Gosh. Okay, well,
the cinematic is sick though.
It is.
Like that's one of the coolest Star Wars things I've seen in a while.
I'll like sometimes just like watch cinematic cutscenes from like the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic because it looks so dope. So I'm still kind of excited.
But you'll always have the trailer.
That is true. You're right. The next thing they talked about was Wonder Woman. They had a little teaser. Was it a trailer?
It was a teaser.
Yeah, and so that was. What do you guys think of that? It was pretty short.
Again, like the Star Wars thing, it kind of came out of nowhere.
There were no rumors or anything like that about it.
I think the guy was like, this is one of the things that wasn't leaked everywhere.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Caught me off guard.
I think it's the same guys that do the Lord of the Rings.
Shadow of War.
And so I think it's going to be a similar type of game. People said it was open world, but I'm not sure any of that kind of stuff. I'm excited for it because I just think, again, it's about time. I want more DC games. I'd love to see a Superman game. I'd love to see like Green Lantern. There's the Injustice games, but those are fighting games.
Yeah.
In the vein of like an open world, like you become Superman, like the Spider-Man game. Yep. Give me that with Wonder Woman would be awesome. I think she's a great character that you can do the same thing where it's like progression. Like she starts with, maybe she's starting just with the Amazons and she doesn't have anything. You get your sword, you get your shield, you get your lasso of truth. Like like that kind of stuff would be cool. And you're able to get, like skill points and stuff where you can start like using, her gauntlets and stuff like that or certain powers. That to me is like, that would be a cool thing to do. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think I'm excited as well. I don't know if I've ever played a Wonder Woman game.
I don't think there is.
I don't think I've ever played one, so I'm interested in this game. we'll see. I don't know when that was slated for. I think
it's pretty new.
Yeah, it's
if they showed that like short of a little trailer, it's like 3 years out, which is a bummer. But it's just like it just goes to show that like this Video Game Awards really wasn't on my list of things that was like a highlight that was coming up. But as I was watching it, I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the releases was like a way bigger factor in this than the actual awards.
Right.
It was cool.
Yeah. And for someone like me who's not like a huge gamer, but there are some games that I'm like, the reason I was watching it because I want to see Breath of the Wild 2. And we got nothing.
Hey.
But the cool thing was like, there was stuff that they put out there that I was like really interested in. And what I appreciate is I don't know any of these developers or guys that are coming up and getting their awards, but that was really few and far between.
Yeah.
It was more so like, hey, this first look, here's an exclusive. And the other thing that was cool about it was the like the performances. I thought those were cool, like Sting.
That was cool.
Like that. I love that song. So it's like, I mean, come on. So that kind of stuff was cool. And I think that's, like you said, it's not like we watch the Oscars and you're like, I don't care about these people that are just coming up and getting awards and giving speeches and thanking people I don't even know.
Yeah.
This is more like, hey, look at this trailer, look at this gameplay, and that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Sting did the Arcane song, right? Which one was that?
What could have been is that what it's called?
That was awesome. That was super cool. The other thing, another thing that happened was Elden Ring, basically the most look forward to game for 2021. They released a actual trailer, like story trailer. Did you guys see that at all, or not really?
Yeah, I watched it.
What do you think about it? Does it look cool, or is it kind of same old kind of?
I mean,
how do you feel about it?
The story seems pretty like standard, but it's something that interests me. It's like talking about like, oh, they broke the Elden Ring, the demigods went to war,
right?
Like that type of world building things like really interests me. Yeah. So like it touched all the right buttons, hit all the right buttons.
I think so. They touched
the buttons.
Oh, yeah.
Tickled them.
They turned them.
It tickled my fancy.
Yeah. Same here, except for the weird tickling fancy thing. But it was like, I know that this is like generically kind of normal just for this type of game to do, but I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it.
That paired with the visuals, it was like, okay, this looks pretty freaking sweet.
You got me. You already had me, but you got me even more. Yeah. So that was cool. But you were talking about Breath of the Wild 2. We didn't get that, unfortunately, but we got a kind of Breath of the Wild kind of adaptation. Sonic Frontiers was announced, and it was oddly looked kind of like the backdrops and some of the particle effects and art kind of direction was like Breath of the Wild-esque.
Even that final shot where we're standing on the hill and it zooms out and you see mountains and the towers.
He jumped off and he had a little.
I'm like, and even the mist that was following him, the bad guy, it was like the same pink. It was very much very similar to that, which I'm like, hey, if it's a good game.
So
Sonic.
So I guess before we get into that a little bit, I'm just gonna say did you guys ever play the Sonic games? Did you guys play any Sega games?
I played on the what was the handheld? Genesis? No, what was the
Game Boy Color.
No, the
Game Gear.
Game Gear. Yeah, that's right.
So in Mexico, a friend of ours had it, and so I played some of those.
Yeah.
But I never was into the Sonic. Like, we were always Nintendo kids.
Yeah.
So. And I know you had a Dreamcast, but I don't think we ever played.
Way late. Yeah, I played a Sonic game. I played Sonic Adventure on it, and it was glitched because I got it secondhand, and it would always glitch out at the second boss, and I could never get past it. So that was it. But I did play the Game Gear a little bit, like the first Sonic and second Sonic, I think, and they're generally fun. So now that we know our background in Sonic, how excited are you about the Sonic Adventure open world-esque kind of game?
I won't play it.
Won't play it?
No, probably
not.
I don't care.
I've tried playing some Sonic games, and it makes me feel old because I can't see what's happening. I look at the screen and I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
It's like it's just going too fast. I can't. Yeah. What are these rings? Yeah. I'm willing to at least see more from them. I think the graphics looked really cool, and if it is more open world-y, that could be interesting. I do kind of just inherently I'm just not as attracted to the gameplay of Sonic. because it's like, I'm gonna headbutt you and you're gonna die or something like that. It's like, and if you hit me,
go fast.
If you hit me, I poop out a bunch of rings. Like,
Yeah.
This is probably terrible for people who love Sonic, but like for us, we just grew up with other.
They
stuff.
just turned off the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened with me? I would always like lose track of where I was supposed to go because I'd get hit and I'd lose speed and I'd fall down somewhere and be like, how do I get back? Where do I go? Because it was always confusing to me. It wasn't enjoyable. It was more of a task. Than to.
I will say that Sonic games, once they went 3-dimensional, and even in the 2D space, they got really glitchy, and their development was kind of trash. But it does make for really entertaining speedruns. Have you guys ever seen speedruns?
Yeah. I've seen some speedruns, not Sonic speedruns.
So I've seen this one where it's like you can be Knuckles. I can't remember which one it is, but like you like do a double jump and then you like dash or something midair. You press pause, go into a menu, unpause, and then you're up farther. And then you can infinitely fly. And it was like so ridiculous. But it's just like, who finds this stuff out? And it was just entertaining. Yeah. But hopefully they are not trash developers on this one, and it's not so glitchy. But every game comes with glitches.
And speaking of Sonic, they also dropped the trailer for Sonic 2.
Oh, yeah, the movie.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you guys wanted to talk that in this space or
yeah.
Do you guys watch the first one?
I did not watch it.
I watched it.
Not a Sonic fan. So
it was. Yeah. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
I actually did enjoy it some. Yeah.
And so I thought Jim Carrey was over the top, but I was like, everything else was like, hey, this is actually better than I thought. And the second one looks like more of the same, but I guess I'm excited for like Idris Elba playing Knuckles and then Tails. So it's kind of cool. Anyways, I don't know if a lot of people are excited. A lot of people are saying that it's like Sonic is the best video game movie.
I mean, it's a pretty low bar, but I don't know if I'd go
that's what I'm saying. But there are people that
isn't out yet.
Ooh, there are people that really like the first Sonic.
I mean, have you seen Assassin's Creed?
I haven't seen it actually.
It's not very good. So but it's not as terrible as
Prince of Persia.
I watched that one. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of movie and game, our next thing was the Lord of the Rings Gollum game that they announced. They showed just a cinematic, no gameplay.
I think.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say. I think
not having it.
I think Jonah's the one that said this, but I totally agree because the face of Gollum, it just doesn't look. And maybe it's because
do you know what Gollum looks like?
He looks like Andy Serkis. It just looked too like goofy to me, and I'm also not like that interested in the game. Like I don't know who was wanting a Gollum game. I love the character, but it's like I don't know.
I think it was cool when he like torched the orcs with the lava, but yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like this.
They're in some kind of molten like blacksmith.
If I'm gonna talk about
forge
trailers getting me excited for movies, and that's the responsibility.
Yeah.
This trailer or this sneak peek didn't make me excited to be like, I want to see more. I'm gonna get that game. It made me be like.
No one was talking about it. The only person who's going to be talking about it is the super fan of Gollum.
Yes,
and they're like, "Oh, I love this, and I want to play him." I don't think any of us have had that.
Man, you guys are crazy.
Okay, go on. Yeah, tell us, Gollum fanboy.
I'm just excited for the game just because I'll play anything Lord of the Rings.
It's good to have something out there,
but. Yeah, I agree. It's like I don't know what the gameplay is. It's going to be like what is it like? It's like Splinter Cell, but you're Gollum basically. Like you're
just going to be in the Misty Mountains
sneaking around the whole time. They're going to have other characters in there. Like I think they even previously had released like concept art for Gandalf and Radagast the Brown and stuff like that.
Are you going to be able to play them, or are they going to be like?
No, I think you're just Gollum.
Yeah, you're just sneaking. So they're pickpocketing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're like boss battles. You're going to meet Gandalf in the Mines of Moria.
But yeah,
what does it look like? He throws stones at people. Like
he strangles people.
Does he have the ring? Does he get to go invisible?
Did he get the ring in the movie?
He had. When does this take place? Isn't this before?
No, this is like after he loses the ring as he's going through Mordor.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might be able to get some interesting backstory about him getting kidnapped by the elves, all that stuff. Kidnapped by Kansas. Yeah. So
that's good.
I don't know, but you're right. The trailer didn't like we got a teaser before and it was the same exact thing. It was like Gollum crawling around and he was like talking to himself. So
meh.
I mean, I don't know what kind of gameplay would make you excited though. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Catching fish.
Something looking better than that. What it did.
I think the only situation I'd be excited to play Gollum is if it's a true like almost like a real time, like a GTA, but only in the fact of like character switching live. So like in GTA, you play like you'll have like
four main 3 characters.
You'll play 3 or 4 different characters, and you're in the same mission. And you can switch on the fly to control any character.
Well, maybe that's what's in this game.
Between Gollum and Smeagol.
Yeah, that's true. You just kind of get... Your buttons change different colors.
Your voice changes.
Yeah, your voice changes, yeah. Yeah, I think that, I'm not interested in a solo Gollum game, I guess, is kind of my thought. But
haters.
Yeah. They introduced an Among Us VR version. So you can stab your friends in the back 3-dimensional.
Like you've always wanted to.
Anyone excited about that?
No.
I've never played Among Us.
Only the little guys, the youngins?
I get kind of sick of those type of games. Like I mentioned a couple episodes ago where we were playing what was it called?
Like a
something
type
academia or something like that.
It was some.
You're apparently not playing it anymore.
I'm not. I stopped playing it. But it's basically the same thing. Where
like 3 weeks
figure
ago.
out who the personoid is, and I don't know. It's just not my favorite type of game.
Yeah. No, I think we're all in agreement on that. That's for the youngins. It's for the young blood. The next thing that was on the list was they did a section on Matrix, the new movie. They basically introduced a VR experience, which is basically kind of how we've seen it's like a QuickTime event, but in VR. So you're going to be kind of like when you have an arcade game, you're like shooting things and doing things like that, but it's very like scripted, and it's like you can't really fail very hard. But did you guys see that?
I saw it. I think I might have like started it halfway through because I thought it was like an actual game.
Right.
Not like a VR thing, but
yeah, it's like a playthrough thing, yeah.
But it was so cool. I mean, it's obviously, I think, being released for, the movie's sake and just marketing.
Part of that promotion. Yeah. I mean, it's also cool because, like, at the same time, like, Unreal Engine 5, which is, like, the newest version of graphics, gets to show off, like, super sick graphics. And so that's what I thought was interesting.
It looked amazing.
Did you guys download it? Or did you download it? You can download it to your PS5 and just play through it without VR.
Oh, you don't need VR?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Because I downloaded it, and I mean, it's pretty simple, like...
Is it like arcade, like that, shoot that?
Yeah,
like,
basically. So it's like
it's
like a quantic
rail shooter.
game. Yeah, it's like aim over here, shoot. But the graphics are amazing. And once you're done with the playthrough, you can just run through the city and do whatever you want.
Oh, that's cool.
You can fly, and then you can change like the lighting and stuff. So I would download it just because I was like, I mean, it's like 15 minutes of you going through, and then afterwards you're just running through, and you're like, wow, these graphics are pretty amazing. So yeah, I would say it's worth it just to play through it.
And I thought you had to have a VR.
No,
I'll download it on my Switch.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah,
where's the Pro, man? Dude?
Yeah, but I mean, Unreal Engine 5 looks pretty sweet. Yeah. Like looking at that and being like, oh, this is what the game engine that games will use moving forward. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
I'm down with it.
I think it's probably the first thing that I've seen that looks like truly like next generation, at least for consoles.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And it's kind of interesting, like going through the playthrough, they like play with the dynamics of like, hi, I'm Keanu Reeves. And, I, acted in this movie. And then they kind of play with like what is real and what's fake kind of a thing. Yeah. So it's a fun,
it's cool.
Either play through or watch through.
I think this is a good example of like good promotion for movies. I think, it could be, they should do some more different things, but like this is a cool little like gamer reach out, be like, oh, look at this cool experience that we made. And it's also promoting, like, it didn't feel forced, I guess is what I would say. It doesn't feel like it's being force fed down our throats. It's more like, isn't this look cool? Like, check it out. And then they did. I will say like the banter between them was kind of weird. But I don't know.
That's always like the worst part of any award or show like that. Is just the cheesy banter.
Kind of forced cheesy, but...
I mean, it's also Keanu Reeves, so...
Yeah, everyone loves him, so you can't really do anything
You're
wrong.
Breathtaking.
And everyone loved him.
Love him, dude.
Love him for it. He's awesome. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about some stuff, Josh? I was just rolling through the list.
There wasn't really... There was the Hellblade 2 game that they showed gameplay for, and originally they didn't say what it was. It was just like, oh, this is in-game footage, and it's basically like this tribe of people like getting ready to attack something, and it's the giant. They go into a cave and it's a giant, and And
it's kind of creepy. Maya was watching with me. I was like, Maya, stop watching. Stop.
Dude, it was pretty creepy.
Cover
it
eyes,
made me feel bad for they're attacking this giant and he looks like a weird
that was weird.
He just wanted to sleep.
Exactly. But apparently it's a sequel to a game. And so I was like, I would be interested to see what the first game was because it looked interesting. Yeah. And I've heard it's pretty good. So yeah, Hellblade 2, it looked pretty sweet.
It looked weird, man. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was definitely strange.
Yeah. That giant was weird and I don't know. It reminds me of Attack on Titan. It's an anime. Yeah. I was like, it's that kind of weird scary.
Yeah.
It's like creepy and scary. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what was the other... I mean, this isn't really new, but they showed more a trailer for A Plague Tale. Is that what it's called?
Plague Tale.
Yeah. So the second one, which is one of those games that I didn't play the first one, so I'm like, I'm interested. Maybe I'll go back and play the first one because the second one looked cool. And then they did show the Halo TV show footage.
Oh, right.
So I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't see that.
Because they had teased it before, 2 weeks ago, just basically Master Chief putting a helmet on. This one was more of a more traditional trailer, not really any plot details, but showing the, whatever the carriers are and stuff like that. Yeah. It looked pretty good.
The armor looks sick. That's all I got to say.
And that's on Hulu, right?
Super detailed.
Paramount Plus.
Oh. Yeah. It looked really detailed. It looked really cool. I thought you had it.
I got the free trial.
Oh, okay.
For soccer games.
Oh, okay.
There you go. But yeah, so it looked pretty good. It's always hard to tell with the first trailer because you don't know what the plot is. Yeah. Obviously, it looks cool. And it's crazy that this is a show or a movie or whatever that's been in development hell basically since Peter Jackson was going to do it all those years ago.
Did you guys ever watch that? It was a mini series that came out 2013 or something. It was Forward Unto Dawn. It was basically a Halo mini series that was actually really well done. I think it was just came out around I don't want to name the Halo game because I'm going to name the wrong one. But it was one of the Halo games that was coming out.
Halo Reach.
Halo Reach, yeah.
There you go.
But it was live action Halo, and for someone
did you watch it?
I did, yeah. And for someone that doesn't really care that much about Halo, I thought it was really good. So
really, wow.
I'm actually excited for the Halo TV show.
It's one of those games where it's not on my list of would do well in TV form because. It's the Master Chief doesn't really say much. He's one of those guys of very few words, and it's all about Cortana, his little AI lady, and they talk about stuff, and it's cool. The story of the campaign is good, and they have a little banter, but it's I don't know. With TV series, I feel it should be more story based, but maybe it's good.
I'll present to you this. The Mandalorian is a show where the guy wears a helmet the whole time, and he doesn't really say too much. Yeah. He's just kind of so if they introduce Master... No, but it's the same concept, though.
Cast.
If they introduce Master Chief, he's got Cortana. He's got a good story that he's on. He's trying to return a little alien to somewhere.
An alien dog.
Back to its species. Then,
the only thing I'll say
use the Force,
for me is I have no interest in watching the Halo show. Nothing. And so I think there are a ton of Halo fans that are dying to see this. Where the difference is with Mandalorian is I think there's way more Star Wars fans than there are Halo fans. And so I think it's easier just with
bigger IP
with the world building and stuff. You can get away with because there's people invested in how does this connect to the Mandalorians, to all these other characters that they've established in Rebels and other stuff. Ahsoka showing up, Luke showing up. I'm sure there's those characters in Halo, but it's on a much smaller. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
stage. So for me, it's kind of I don't really have any interest, and I think it's gonna be hard to sell it to me to be get Paramount Plus to watch a series, when there's so much other stuff out there. That's for me. It's kind of I'm eh.
I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle is just because I don't have Paramount Plus.
They're not going to do nearly as well as Mandalorian.
Yeah,
that's just something they know.
Yeah.
They can't compete with a giant IP like Star Wars. But I think if they do right by the existing fans of Halo and maybe some adjacent, fans, they played Xbox and they played a little bit of Halo. Mm-hmm. Maybe me. I didn't own Halo. I went to BJ's house and I played at his house. and I thought it was cool. And we played the campaign co-op together, and it was a really good campaign. So if I had access to it, I would definitely watch at least the first couple episodes and give it a shot.
Well, and I think, like what Josh says, if you do it right, you're going to get people that are going to say,
word of mouth.
They're going to say, hey, this is a really good show, or the action's great and the characters are good. And you're going to get people to be like, it's sci-fi. So people are going to want to go and watch it. So that's what it's going to have to be. The hardcore fans are going to watch it, and word of mouth, if it's good, people reviewing it, people are going to go and gravitate towards it because, I mean, it's a recognized IP, and people are always looking for sci-fi and action, you know. But for me, I don't know. It's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough, but I think for us, the Game Awards was a lot more surprising and entertaining than we thought it was going to be. Right? I mean,
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So they do a good job.
Yeah, I think we talked about it before, but overall, it's nice that it's not. Like, obviously the goal is, hey, we want to reward the gaming industry for like all the hard work they do, but also it's not just like 3 hours of people giving speeches for 20 minutes or whatever. It's like, hey, here's a trailer, here's an interview with a creator who's going to tell you about the game, here's an award, and then you're moving on.
Well, they even did a thing where it's like, this person won this, and they just did like 10 in a row. Where it's like
fired them off.
This person won. This game won. And I was like, okay, so that was
it had good pacing.
Yes,
yeah, and it was kind of interesting that they had an after party, a virtual after party, and they had Kanye West and Drake doing the after show.
Heck yeah, dude.
In like some coliseum somewhere. It was nuts. The guy is just solo performing. Drake's off to the side, just like, you know, doing whatever, just barely involved. Yeah. And Kanye was just doing his thing, being Kanye, you know, smoke. He's wearing like boots and like orange bright gloves, and just, it was weird, man. You know, Kanye's Kanye.
Yeah. Hey, and maybe next year, if we're still around, we can stream it.
Oh, do a live commentary of it.
Commentary of it.
That'd be cool.
That would be, because we were talking through text, and we're like, if we're all watching it, why aren't we just watching it together and kind of, so...
I hope we're still around.
Probably not. The last thing I'll say about the Game Awards is the guy that won for Game of the Year was It Takes Two. And the creator is...
They got Game of the Year.
Joseph Fares. And if you've never seen him before, he's like the Swedish guy, and he's like super like over the top.
Yeah. Chris Farley?
But he's pretty funny.
Skinny.
So like, I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he like went on to the Game Awards and was basically like, they were interviewing him, but he's just like going off on all these rants. And then he's like, at the end of it, he was like, F the Oscars. Like, this is the best. Cause he used to be like a director.
That's right.
He did. And so now he's doing games. But even like he was he was up for best director. And so they've got all the pictures or like the camera on all of them. And like fans vote on this, and he loses, and he's like, pointing at the camera and like punching. He's like, I'm punching the air. It's pretty funny. And then when he won, like his speech was pretty funny. But he seems like a pretty interesting guy. Nice. So yeah, if you want to check out his interviews or check out what he did on the Game Awards, it's pretty entertaining. Yeah. And I'm actually interested to check out It Takes Two. So it's a couch co-op game. So
that was one of the games that I was right on the fence of getting. And I was like, me and Bree would have a ton of fun playing that. It's perfect for just two people to just co-op, go at it. And it's super fun from what I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that, and people streaming it. So that actually kind of sold me. The fact that they got best video game of the year kind of sold me. I was like, geez, maybe it is worth it. So I'll probably check that out. But cool. But yeah, I think that does it for the Video Game Awards. Super fun. Maybe next year we'll do live commentary. Yeah. That'd be sweet. Yep. We will be around, Mick. Okay, we will be around. Yes. But yeah, do us a favor out there, guys. If you could like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, it helps so much. The closer we can get to like 100 subscribers, the better. But yeah, just thank you guys for listening and watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.